Hi, checking. Shaji, who's checking? Who's there? Is the link working, Susie? Not working
But the
here.
link,
What we have shared.
the link that we have been sharing for the it says it has been removed by the owner.
Who's checking the audio? Who's checking the audio?
I'll share the link. Right.
How did you share? This is a new link.
I'll share a link. You just put it up online social media channel, calling channel. We are live now. That's it. We are live on the LB network. LB network.
Is it? Are we sure that we should?
Yeah, we are live now. Live. You go to LB network channel. Go to LB network channel.
Let's share this link.
I will share a link.
Please.
Go to LB network channel. Search me LB network channel. I'm getting sound, but there is a delay. What is it? Sound is slow.
This is the one.
I'm getting angry.
Hello, 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Hello,
Hello.
1
Hello.
2 3.
Can you hear me?
Hello, hello,
Hello. Hello, everyone.
hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
So this is the link. I haven't the.
You go on the phone. You go on the phone. Who created the other link?
Five watching now.
Let people join at least.
Yeah, but it's a new link. It's not the same.
No, people will keep on joining. We will invite people. You just start the show.
Five watching now.
I start with me saying it. Why is that? No, we went. We can change it as well. If you want, we can just change the link on the link.
Oh my God! See, the people of the Amay series is starting.
Yeah.
Which one needs to change this thing?
Just share the link.
Share the link with Vijay. I'll ask him to open. Vijay, this is the link. Can you please update it on LinkedIn and everywhere? This is the new link we will be going live with. Already sorry. Already given.
Yes.
Let's start because we need to get
Yeah. Who's
so
starts by introducing? Start by introducing.
Yesterday when we did the testing, we went live there. Now it is what happened. Yeah, so I think that These people had created a live URL of the streaming tool. So now the streaming tool.
I just put the word like it's okay. Is it coming? Everything is fine. Who's gonna do that? I am only doing that. Eating food and doing. Oh God, we are live and the mic is on. I hope my voice is not audible. Shaji, is the mic working? Shaji, is it working? But is my voice? It's there.
That is my voice.
I'm saving it. I'm saving it for hope. Okay, so we are starting.
I could probably hear this whole conversation. I'll start a picture from the. Let's start.
No, we are already.
Yeah, let's go.
Can you reduce the volume? Music. And can you put it here? Can you put it here? On the TV, the link. Yeah, actually Stephen can do it. Stephen, I'm sorry. Can you put the link, the new link on the TV, please? Okay. Thank you. If there is lipstick, it's mine. No, I'm saying on the glass.
I heard it. It's online.
Hi, Dad. Hello, Dad.
Yeah. I need to mute my mic.
Salman apologized for the video. They looked into that and said,
Apologies for the delay. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? Hello and welcome to Books. You know, there is something common between all of us, and that's the love for books. That's why we all are here today. I welcome you all, amazing audience present over here, and the people who have joined us online from all around the world. Thank you so much. Through books, we aim to showcase the creativity of the distinguished authors and disseminate their shared experiences to encourage more and more people to harness the power of the words through books. Without any further delay, I would like to invite Mr. Jeffrey Smith from iAcademy Middle East, the Director of School Partnerships. Can we please have you, sir?
Do I need to hold this? Good afternoon, everyone. Honored to be here. First of all, to our host, Daily Dose, I enjoyed your coffee very, very much. Thank you so much for being such gracious hosts. To the organizers of this event, LB, Mr. Laurel Clave, and Mr. Roshan, and Susan, and Ankita, thank you so much, and your wonderful staff for putting on this wonderful event. To our esteemed authors, I look forward to getting to meet each and every one of you. I've had a chance to look at some of your works, and I've been very, very, very moved by some of the literary works that you've put together, and I look forward to reading more. And to our guest of honor, my dear friend and colleague, Catherine O'Farrell, and to all of you who are watching, whether you're here live or whether you're streaming, thank you so much. You've already made this event a great success. iAcademy Middle East is an American curriculum online school. We've been around since 2007, long before online education was popular. So we're sort of pioneers in the region. We are accredited by the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, and also we're licensed locally by the Knowledge and Human Development Authority. Back in the early days, 12, 13 years ago, we helped 1 to 2 dozen students with their education. Today, we help 1 to 2,000 students and put them on a path to a U.S. high school diploma and a bright future with many, many opportunities. In my role as Director of School Partnerships, one of the things that I do is develop collaborations and find like-minded people to develop friendships. And one of the things I need to do is to understand the needs of the community, specifically the education community. A few years ago, about 3 years ago, we determined that a lot of our teachers were struggling. They were struggling with resources. They were just struggling with training. And I got together with a couple of my good friends, and we decided to put on free workshops for our teachers. So we came up with this concept called a Common Core Bootcamp. And in the Common Core Bootcamp, we had a free day of professional development. We provided lunch, and we gave everybody certificate and recognition. But in order to pull this off, we realized that we were going to need partners who were interested in devoting themselves to a mission greater than themselves. I had just met Mr. Roshan from LB. I reached out to him, and without hesitation, he said, yes, Mr. Jeffrey, I would love to be on board with this. I also reached out to my friend, Catherine O'Farrell, and asked her, she's one of the most highly regarded professional development professionals in education. And I reached out to her to see if she would be interested. And without hesitation, even though she's one of the busiest people that I know, she said, just let me know when and where, and I'll be there. And I also needed student volunteers to come to make the event successful. So my friend Heath Bailey, who was principal at the time, I reached out to him to see if some of his children would be interested. And without hesitation, he said, I'll bring you 20 students. And he brought us the most poised and professional high school students that I ever met in my life. And above and beyond that, Heath actually did a presentation at the event that moved everybody to tears. It was a very inspirational presentation about education. And so here we are 3.5 years later, and Rashawn, Catherine, and Heath, and we're here back together again, still promoting literacy, still making the community better. So I'm very, very personally moved to be here today and looking forward to an outstanding event. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jeffrey. Now, I would like to have Laurel Clive, the Director of Strategy at LB, to hand over the token of appreciation to all our brand partners. Laurel, can I have you here? I would like to invite Mr. Jeffrey Smith from iAcademy Middle East. Laurel. Can I have a round of applause, please? BUKX. Thank you so much. BPN Global. Thank you so much. Can I please have a huge round of applause? Paper Line. Thank you so much. And Mr. Stephen from Daily Dose Coffee Lounge. Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And a very special thanks to our little guest, Angie. It's her birthday also today. Angie, can we please have you here? Stephen, can we please have you?
Yes.
The gift voucher from Daily Dose to Angie. Please. Wish you a very happy birthday. How are you? How are you finding the event?
It's very nice. The food's very nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
And which is your favorite book?
It's not from one of these authors, but I really like Tom Gates.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And if I'll ask you, what was the last book which you read? Which was it?
It was all top of the class.
Wow, amazing, yeah. So we can clearly see the love for books in our audience. Stephen, can we please have you to present the gift to the birthday girl? Thank you so much. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Angie. And moving forward, today we are glad to have with us Ms. Catherine O'Farrell as the guest of honor for this evening. Ms. Catherine has served in the executive leadership roles for some of the region's largest K-12 school groups. She has extensive experience in the field of counseling and psychotherapy. She was recently selected as the director of iAcademy Middle East Knowledge Hub. I now take the honor to please invite Ms. Catherine. Ms. Catherine, can we have you, please? Can I have a huge round of applause, please?
Hi, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to be here today celebrating National Book Lovers Day. So I've recently joined the wonderful team at iAcademy and joining again with people who I realize I've known for quite a long time. And Heath, I've worked with not only at iAcademy or at the boot camp, but also at Athena. So we've got quite a history together as well. And to honor the authors, I thought I would talk a little about the value of literacy and reading and the value that books bring and the richness to our lives. So I grew up in a little village in Ireland in a pub, and my greatest memories as a child were listening to my dad with his chin in his hand propped up against the bar to all of our customers as they told us their life stories and their experiences. And nothing is quite as rich as real life. And those stories brought such imagination and value to me. I think that was the start of my journey towards psychology and listening to people's stories and listening to the experiences and the experiences that people have around the world and from my childhood. So I thought I might ask you guys, and those of you who are watching online, to take a moment and think of some of the richest books that you have read in your life, and think about the characters with whom you emulate from those books. So one of the most impactful books that I've ever read is a really random book by a guy called Hermann Hesse, who I think was in maybe the 1800s. And he wrote a book called Steppenwolf about a man who was quite literally stumbling through life from job to job and different experiences, trying to find himself. And I thought that maybe I resonated with this character so much because I've moved around a lot. And I've been really lucky to have a lot of different experiences with different groups and different companies. So I'd like you guys to take just a moment and think, what book has really impacted you in your life? And what characters in that book really impacted you? And why? Do you resonate with them for a particular reason? Or do you see yourself in the characters? The 5 authors we have here today are really amazing authors. I've had a look at some of the books, and I know Heath's book has been described to me as one of the most impactful books that people have read. So we're really lucky to be able to celebrate them here today. And I'm looking forward to hearing more and to enjoying not only the wonderful coffee, but wonderful company. And thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Catherine. Now I would like to invite Mr. Roshan, the CEO and Managing Director at LB, to hand over a token of appreciation to Ms. Catherine. Ms. Catherine, can I have you for a minute? Can I have a round of applause, please? Thank you so much, Roshan and Ms. Catherine, once again. Okay, moving forward, as they say, don't just learn, experience. Don't just read, absorb. Don't just change, transform. And don't just relate, advocate. So without any further delay, let's get the ball rolling and let's hear it from our first author of the session, Grace Kareem. Grace Kareem is a mompreneur, a founder of an online bookstore called BUKX, and a published author too. Today, Grace will be sharing her experience of writing the book, Oh Read. Over to you, Ms. Grace. Please come.
Hi there, good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Thank you for the organizers. Thank you for the beautiful place we are here, and thank you for, again, having me. Actually, I'm here in 2 capacities. Yes, I am an author of Uriid, and I'm going to tell you all about it in a minute. But I would like to introduce BUKX to you because this is also a passion for me. And it started from just the need of our kids to read. And it's all about books and the encouragement to read. So we want to see more reading and less screen time for our kids. And also for the adults who are, especially lately, they are too much into screen and everything is on the computer now. So we want them to have an escape and have a book in hand. And this is how BUKX idea came to life. Basically, it's all about books, as I said, and all you have to do is you go online, you choose the book that you like, you buy it, and we deliver wherever you want. What is the special about bookends is that all those books are pre-loved. So basically, every book has got a story behind it. Every book has been in hands of someone who is passionate about reading. So while we are reading a used book, we can think of, how did this person who read before me thought about this book? How did they react with that story, with those characters? How did they connect with those characters? So there is a story behind each book that we have on our website. At the moment, we have more than 9,000 books. And we are very happy to see so many people coming and buying continuously. And it doesn't stop over there. It's also, if you have books yourself and you don't want to keep them anymore, you can bring them to us and we can sell them on your behalf. So this is the story of bookends. And I'm going to move on to tell you about Urid. Urid is an academic book. It teaches Arabic for non-Arabs. And I can see that most people would say, oh, Arabic, oh, it's boring, oh, it's difficult. And I would assure you that the Arabic language is the easiest language to read. For the simple reason is that every letter you see, you have to pronounce. Every sound you have there, you have to pronounce. But before I get there, I'm going to tell you, how did the idea come from? I volunteered in my kids' school, helping the Arabic teacher with her children. And I could feel that the children were not totally motivated. They were finding it very difficult. And of course, I understand that, because you don't see Arabic anywhere, you don't hear Arabic anywhere, you don't talk Arabic with anyone, because you don't have any Arabic around you. So I came with the idea of teaching Arabic using the phonics, which is a new method, and no one has used this method before. So I developed my own method, and I started teaching children using that, to the point that I wanted my idea to go across too many people, and I wanted to spread all over. And I hope one day I will manage to have it in schools as well. So this is how I got the book out. And from that, it is it's just a book to teach you the letters. And from that, I developed also another book called Urid Workbook, which is, after you learn all those letters, you can exercise your knowledge by doing different type of activities, from crosswords to word search to decoding the word to spelling. So it's full of different exercises, but all are with fun. It's fun exercises, and it's not something that, oh my God, it's boring, I don't want to do it. Everyone who got hold of the workbook, they really worked on it with enjoyment, and they loved doing it. Now, the family is growing, because I believe that if I want to teach a concept, it's easier to get it through a story. So I have so far 3 stories, but behind the stories, there is a big message, which is the grammar. So my aim is to teach the grammar through the stories. So far, there are 3 books out. So Urid family is so far with 5 books, and hopefully I will be able to develop even more and more books. And Arabic is a very easy language. As I have mentioned before, whatever you see, you have to read. Like if you talk about English or French, you have combination of 2 letters to give you, for example, 1 sound. In Arabic, it's not the case, because the letter you see is the letter you have to read, so you have to pronounce. And don't assume that it is a difficult language. It's very, very, very easy. You just need to set your mind that, yes, it's easy. Yes, I want to try, and you will get there. So this is my story being an author. It started together with the idea of bookends. There are two different things, but I am passionate about both of them. And at the moment, Ureed is on bookends. All the 5 books are on bookends. So bookends is only a platform. We don't have a physical shop. So you can see it on bookends.ae. And if you go there, you put the word Ureed in search, and you can see all the books that are available. You can see summaries of each book, the prices, and we can deliver anywhere you are in UAE. Please, if you have any questions to ask me about grammar, about vocabulary, about anything, I'm happy to answer. But I would like you first to set your mind that I would like to try to learn the Arabic language because it's my passion. I love it. And I want to give that message to everyone who is listening to me, everyone who is here as well, because I want you to taste that passion that I have. So Ureed is there for you to eliminate that, the idea of this is very difficult, I can't do it. Anybody can do it. It's just a set of mind. Just put in mind that, yes, I can do it, and you will be able to do it. I hope I gave you my message. I hope it's clear. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Actually, you can start as young as 4 or 5 years old. Yes, because the brain is like a sponge. Whatever you can absorb, it's better for you. There are kids who are talking 3 languages at the same time in the house, and they are fluent at all of them. So as early as 4 years old, you can start learning new language. How late? Okay. If you are like 70, 80, and you would like to try something new, it's very good to learn a new language. By the way, it doesn't need to be only Arabic. It could be any language, because if we learn a new language, our memory will be all the time refreshed. It will help us to be young forever. I believe so. Do you agree with me? Thank you for having me. And I look forward to a lot more events to participate in. And thank you for the host and for everyone.
We would like you to ask a question to the audience regarding your session.
Yes, of course, I would like to. Okay. I mentioned bookends and I mentioned Ureed. Okay. Do you know where bookends is? Where is the location of bookends? Yes, it is online only. We don't have a physical shop. It is only online. It is bookends.ae. Congratulations. You just won a voucher.
Thank you. That's very thoughtful.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so
very much.
Grace.
Thank you.
I would like to request Mr. Parveen from BPN to please give away a gift to Miss Grace. Parveen from BPN. Hi. Thank you so much, Mr. Parveen.
Go as much as possible to this end so that when the guests come, they automatically will.
Okay. Got it. I would like to invite Chris Clive, who's the business management student from the University of Bournemouth, UK, currently an intern with LB, to give a token of appreciation to Miss Grace. Chris, can we please have you? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Grace, once again. Now, can I please have the next author, Mr. So, okay, so we. Ki- Okay, so there is some change in the plan. Okay, so because we are live, we are still waiting for the other author to join. Meanwhile, can I have somebody from the audience who would like to come and speak about the National Book Lovers Day? Jeffrey. Jeffrey, Waleed is here. Can Waleed, please come. Please come. Okay, Chris, can we have you here, please? Chris, please come. Can I have a huge round of applause for Chris Clive? Thank you, Chris. Okay, so Chris, what was the last book which you read, and what is the takeaway from that book which you would like to share with the audience? If you want, you can take 2 minutes. It's okay. It's okay.
I can't remember.
Okay. Anybody? Thank you, Chris. Sorry for putting you on the spot. Okay. Anybody from the audience who has read the last book and would like to share the takeaway from that book? Can I have anybody? The birthday girl, Angie. Angie, sure. Thank you so much. Come.
I think I like what, there was a thought that Catherine said in my mind when you spoke about what's the last book that, or rather, who's the character that left an impression. And I would say I read Henry James, The Portrait of a Lady, and I could so relate to the character where, she was so stuck with, to you. The character was initially very stuck with her thought process, and traveling out of her comfort zone kind of gave her the opportunity to explore, new thoughts and new beliefs, which was a great thing. So thank you, Catherine, for initiating that thought in me to just think about who's a character that I could relate with.
Thank you so much. Such a lovely audience over here. Thank you so much for sharing this. Now, can we have our next author? Please, put your hands together for Mr. Waleed Shah. He is a chemical engineer by education, a renowned photographer, and a published author. You will get to know more about his journey of writing his book, Rock Your Ugly. Please welcome Mr. Waleed Shah. Over to you, Waleed.
Thank you. All righty. I just got here, so I don't know what the format looks like. What I heard, I'm reading something from my book. Is that what's happening? Okay, cool. All righty. So my name is Waleed Shah. I grew up here in the UAE, and I was a chemical engineer before. I switched out to photography. And I went through a little something that made me write a book called Rock Your Ugly. It's because I'm a photographer, it's quite visual. So while I'm talking, if I can get you guys just to hop on your phones for me. On Instagram, there's a handle called Rock Your Ugly. And you can kind of quickly see what the visuals look like. And then there's a link there. You can get the book there as well if you feel like. I've got some copies here. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Can I grab a copy actually? Yeah, here we go. All righty. This is my copy. It's a little torn up. It's called Rock, You're Ugly. And it's a story, it's a collection of stories of people I met along with their portraits. And that's why I wanted you to get on Instagram to see the portraits while we're talking. And the collection of stories range from things like struggling with your body weight, or struggling with a mental illness, goes to struggling with like cancer, and then goes way deeper into stuff like sexual abuse and self-harm, thoughts of suicide. So there's a little bit in there for everybody to kind of relate to. I'm sure if you pick it up and start reading, there's 1, 2, or 10 stories that you might relate to, and the images are very raw. They're not edited. They're just as they are from the camera. And the reason I started writing this is that there were 2 milestones in my life. One was I hurt my back. I used to be a bodybuilder. I was this guy, this guy. I was that guy at some point, and I hurt my back. I herniated my disc, and I couldn't work out anymore. So I just gave up. I started eating. I just didn't go to the gym at all, and I just got big and fat. Well, fat is an overstatement, I think, but like bigger than I'm comfortable with. And one day I woke up in the morning and I was really uncomfortable with myself. And my birthday is on January 6th. So it's just around the time where people start to do their resolutions, their New Year's Eve resolutions. And I was just tired of seeing everybody's resolutions on Instagram. So I got up in the morning and I took a photo of myself, took my shirt off and held my belly. And I took a portrait of myself and I put it up online with a caption that said something like, I used to be a bodybuilder, I was a sportsman, and this happened to me, and this is what I look like right now. And to be honest, I don't feel like doing anything about it this year. Check back in with me next year. And I just hit post, and I just kind of forgot about it. And it really resonated with a lot of people. I got a lot of messages coming back to me saying, hey, we feel the same way. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad somebody said that because we're tired of that too. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me go and explore other people's insecurities, how they feel about themselves and their bodies and stuff like that. I just made a note on my phone with all the photo ideas that I have on my phone, and I just forgot about it for a couple of years. And then 2 years later, my best friend passed away, and I was in a very, very bad place in my mind. So I just on advice from my friends and family, I said, just bury yourself in work. Just, find something to do, find something to work on, and bury yourself in it. And so I just picked up my notes and really just blindly pointed at like one of the projects. I'm like, okay, that one. And it was this project. It wasn't called Rock Your Ugly at the time. It was just like explore other people's insecurities about their bodies. And so I started doing that. And the more people I shot and interviewed, the deeper the subject got. And you'll see from the stories, some stories are very short. They're very sort of like on the surface. And that was like the beginning of the project. And then later on, when I realized, hey, this is much, like it's much more than just a body insecurity. It goes down to like childhood and parenting, mistakes parents made with their kids, and friends and close family sort of making comments that aren't appropriate just in passing, and things that were deeper, like I said, like child abuse, sexual abuse, that really carried with them to later. So it served as sort of therapy for me, me sort of getting over my grief. And the more people I spoke to, the more I could move on with my life. Because when you speak to somebody on that deep a level, you find that connection. You're then comfortable to sort of, yes, they unload on you, but you're also unloading on them, whatever you're feeling. So that was the process. And before it was a book, it was just this online Instagram project, and kind of took off. And I'm like, hey, I could have a book here, But one funny thing is I struggle to call myself an author because I feel like I didn't write this book. I just transcribed the interviews, right? Like we were having conversations, and I just wrote down what these guys said. So it's still, you know, I'm still new to this, so it's a bit weird to be like, hey, author Waleed Shah. It's difficult to swallow that, but yeah, I'm coming to terms with it. So yeah, that's kind of the story, and I thought I'd be reading some stuff from the book. Would you like me to do that? Is that something? Yeah. Okay. Well, while you have your phones out, how about somebody pick an image that, you know, look through them and pick an image that kind of resonates with you, and be like, you know what, tell me this story, and I'll flip through the book and read an excerpt. That sound good? Yeah. Alrighty. Who's going first? Any image that resonates? Yeah, tell me.
If someone drops a comment like, "Oh, you look like you gained some weight,"
Okay.
go into a eating starvation mode.
Okay, show me the image. Which is there a picture to that? See? Okay, all right. Cool. Saskia. Let's see. Saskia, page 40. So Saskia was, you know, what I did with this book was I didn't research any of the people before I met them. They'd contact me and tell me they want to talk about something, and I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know what they look like. I don't know their story. I just show up and we start talking. So when I met Saskia, I'm like, oh man, she's beautiful. You know, what's going on here? And then it turns out she's like super insecure about her face, and she's got all these plastic surgeries planned out, and she knows exactly, you know, which doctor is good for this type of surgery in LA and the other ones in the UK, and she's got them all planned out, and she knows how much they cost, and she's just saving up money to go and do those. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, man, you are stunning. What are you talking about? So I'll quickly read that. I'll just read like an excerpt just from the middle. I don't know where it's going to start. Let's see what it looks like. All right. How long is this? Okay. When I was 21, I moved to a different city to work in a renowned company to write my thesis for my bachelor degree. There I met people who put me down with their negative view of life. They didn't want me to be happy just because they were not happy. Shortly after, my depression reached its worst. I missed more and more social outings, spent more and more time in self-imposed isolation, and told myself that it was just because I was introverted or that I was tired. I was tired, but not from lack of sleep. The tiredness was actually a symptom of depression. The first big step was for me to realize that I was mentally unwell. It took me a long time to do so because I was convinced it was just a phase, a slump in life that everybody has. This slump lasted for years, and as unbelievable as it sounds, there was not a single day during that time that I considered a good day or what I felt completely happy. The lack of emotions, constant overthinking made me feel meh. Then one day I decided this was no longer an acceptable way to live my life, and I made an appointment with a psychiatrist to get the necessary help, which was antidepressants and therapy sessions with a psychologist. After speaking to the psychologist regularly over a period of 6 months, digging into where the depression came from, why it persisted, and what in my life had to change to get this demon out of my head, I felt much better and came off the medication. I'm going to read just a little bit before that. So, however, a part of my class, the cool kids never accepted me. For them, I stayed the new girl for years, and they bullied me. They said nasty things, stole my homework, threw my shoes in the garbage while I was in gym class, and mocked my appearance, especially my nose, which was at the time was a bit too big for my face. This was normal at that age, but of course, I didn't know that at the time. And the bullying lasted until I was about 16 when I finally changed schools, started my apprenticeship as a foreign language correspondent. When I left school, I also left my self-esteem there. Yeah. How does that feel to anybody? Does that resonate with anybody? Being bullied at school?
That she had lots of problems that they were accumulating over the years.
Yeah.
Which led to being having issues with her confidence. She wasn't confident enough.
Yeah.
So she used all those plastic surgeries to hide her problems, her psychological problems.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for that. What's your name?
Grace.
Grace? Nice to meet you, Grace.
Thank you.
Cool. Alrighty. Should we do another one? Yeah? Any other image you guys feel like you want to know more about? This one, alrighty. So this is Kimberly. So if you just show everybody that image, just so they can follow that as well. Kimberly, Carrie, Kim. Here we go. 144. So Kimberly has a condition called alopecia. Anybody know what alopecia is? No, sorry, that is alopecia. She's got, not alopecia, my bad. Good one. There is an alopecia story there. No, it is alopecia, yeah, sorry. Alopecia, so you're talking about vitiligo. Yes, vitiligo is a discoloration of the skin. Alopecia, I doubted myself for a second there. I'm like, wait, hold on. So alopecia is the condition where you lose your hair. Your hair starts falling and there's patches in your head. So she says, and there's 2 alopecia stories in this book, and both women said alopecia is a chosen disorder. You are chosen to have alopecia because not everybody can handle it. And once you lose your hair, you let go of that sort of mask or that crutch that, you know, women are, you know, beautiful because of their hair and that side of things. Once you let go of that, you're able to elevate and do greater things. So let me read a part of that. So I'll start in the middle again. Because there is no cure, I would get an injection after injection of cortisone in the bald areas of my scalp every 45 days. Sometimes the hair would grow back, sometimes the hair would grow back thin, but at least it grew back, right? I remember one day I got fed up because my hair was so patchy and inconsistent. I was dating a guy at the time, and I decided to just go to the bathroom and shave my whole head. Did I do a good job? No, it was horrible. But when he saw me, he said, "You are the most beautiful thing in the world." But I still felt ugly no matter what. I did not feel beautiful. So I carried on trying to grow it back and cover it up. In 2012, I got so tired of worrying about my hair and living the "you have to grow it back to be beautiful" lifestyle that I went to a salon, a men's salon, to get a buzz cut. It was the first time that I came out officially as a bald woman. Any other time I would wear hats, wigs, scarves, but I would wear them because I needed them. That was when I learned the difference between accessory and necessity. When I covered my head to hide my baldness from myself and the world, it was a necessity. Now that I'm out, I don't care. I wear what I want to wear. If I want to show my bald head to people, I'll show it. If I don't feel like having my precious head exposed to the elements, I'll cover it up. It's my choice now, and I accessorize my head the way I see fit. Story's longer, and you know you can read that as well later. Yeah. Any questions from you guys? Do you want to know anything else? Do you want to read another piece? How do you guys feel?
Out of all the stories, like which one was like something that you thought, yeah, this is how I did it?
There's honestly, I can't really pick one. There's a little bit of me in all of them that I related to, and then I think everybody will relate to some story differently. This is one question I get asked all the time. Actually, you know, any interview is like, tell us one, you know, your favorite story. I'm like, I can't. There's no favorite. There's no one specific one that was, you know, that was really better than the rest. So I apologize. I can't answer that question. Yeah.
You are a chemical engineer, studied chemical engineering. When did you find that photography was your passion? How did you find it?
In 2013, I graduated in 2008, and I worked in the oil industry until 2016, 2017. But in 2013, I started this company with a bunch of my friends. It was a recording studio for music. I'm a musician as well. And through that recording studio, I just picked up a camera just to market the studio. So whoever would come in and, snap a few photos, put them on Facebook, and hey, guy, the same deal everybody does, photos for people to come in to your business, right? And I just started getting better at it, and people started to want to use these photos for like flyers and, their own stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, 30 dirhams. Why not? So it just kind of started there, and then people started to hire us to shoot like events and brands and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty good at this, So we started a whole new division in that company for visuals, and then when we shut that down, and then I lost my job, and I'm just like, I'm not really looking for another job anymore. I'm gonna just do this. So yeah, that's how it happened. Yeah. That's me, man. Yeah, that's me. That was the first photo. That was the photo. If you want to show these guys that was the first photo when I woke up in the morning, and I'm just like, this is what I feel like, Yeah.
This is what got this whole book.
This is the first photo, man. This is it. Okay. Yeah. Do I look different in that? Did you not recognize? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Longer beard, more hair. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Like that peak where it starts off like a sad vision of
Yeah.
someone, but then it comes out to be like strong, confident walking out, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. I would definitely want to read it.
Yeah.
The something that stands out, there are like literally less than % of men in those stories. Is there a reason why there is this?
It's a very, very good question. So when I was writing this, I didn't, when I was not writing it, when I was shooting this, when I was, people were booking, I didn't have any influence on who was booking and who I'm reaching out to. I just let people reach out to me. So the percentage of men versus women is not intentional. It just is. It just happens to be. And what I realized is I think women are a lot braver than men when it comes to talking about themselves and opening up and publicly saying, hey, I went through this. This is what happened to me. So yes, yeah, they're a lot braver than men, and I wish it was more equal, but this is reality. It's I didn't influence that myself. Yeah. No. Yeah. No, men. I think men evolutionarily have mastered the art of bottling stuff up. Just like, keep it in. Yeah, totally. Yeah, cool. Thanks for that. What's your name? Sorry, Shirley. Nice to meet you, Shirley. Cool. All righty. Anything else? Anybody else? Anything? Cool. All righty. So since you're on that Instagram, there's a link there. I've got some copies, and you can just buy it from there, and then show me that you bought it, and I'll give you a copy. Cool. All righty. Thank you.
Waleed. Thank you so much, Mr. Waleed. Can I have a huge round of applause? Thank you for sharing such an amazing experience with us. Waleed, can I have you here for a minute? Yeah. So now I would like to invite Susan, the brand experience manager at LB, to please present a gift to Mr. Waleed Shah.
Cool. Thank you.
Can I also have Nisha from BPN Global to gift Mr. Waleed?
Oh, there's more gifts.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Right. Do I need a truck?
Yeah. Do you have?
I do.
Have you got one?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nisha.
All right.
Thank you so much, Waleed.
Thank you.
I'll see you. Now, moving ahead, can I have the next author for the evening?
Okay, what happened when Nintendo? What happened when Nintendo? Color bar. So we can put we can go change the
Check. Yeah, no problem. Once again, welcome back to Books. Can I have the opportunity to please welcome our next author of the session, Nisha Sanjeev. Please put your hands together for Nisha. She is a writing consultant, duality teacher, and the founder of HUE. She has been a journalist for 20 years in leading media institutions, including Gulf News, Dubai Media Incorporated, Tech and Chronicle. We will get to know more about her journey of writing her book, Anamika. Over to you, Nisha. Thank you.
Thank you. No, it's fine. I'm comfortable standing. So, thank you for this. Thank you for this opportunity. And to all of you who've come here to listen to my book journey, this is my first book that I've written. It's called Anamika, The Secret of Her Awareness. Now, this book is a story about a woman who has it all, and yet she's unhappy. This book is a story of a woman who is considered a role model, yet she cannot look into her own eye in the mirror. This book is about a woman who is called on to give advice to young girls on how to lead their life, and yet she is struggling to find meaning in her own life. This is the story of Anamika. She is a successful professional, getting perks at regular intervals, climbing up the corporate ladder, hobnobbing with the movers and shakers of the society. She's married to a man who pampers her. They've got a beautiful child, intelligent. They go on holiday destinations. They have fancy car, beautiful home. She's got everything. For the outside world, she's living a perfect life where anybody would want to trade their life, at least for a day, with Anamika. However, inside the four walls of her home, Anamika is always frustrated, angry. She never takes part in her child's activities. She's never been to her child's school. Her child calls her grumpy. Her child is, by the way, 10-year-old. So she's never participated in the child's school activities or in her education or in her upbringing. The silence between her and her husband has increased. It has come to such an extent where they stop talking to each other, and she closes herself in the room. Her anxiety attacks increase. She has sleepless nights and she slips into depression. That is when, one day, her best friend visits her. Her best friend, whom she calls LMC. Her bestest of best friends, whom she has heart-to-heart talks. So this book is a conversation between Anamika and LMC. How this best friend, LMC, helps Anamika become a happy woman again. That is the gist, the crux of this book. It's a novel in verse. It has 100 poems, including 14 sonnets, woven in text. So how does LMC help Anamika become a happy woman? He opens a window of hope to her, number one. Number two, he restores the lost resilience in her. And number three, he lets her connect to her real self. So, what does he do and how does he do? He takes her on a journey to her past, dissects and analyzes every single phase of hers, every single incident that has happened in her life, right from the moment she moved to high school, chose her subjects, as to why she chose those subjects, how she moved into which university, That was all decisions, her choices. So he sits with her and analyzes each step that she took along the way. Her bitter relationships in university, her marriage, her job choices, and they come to a conclusion, and he makes her aware that she was running away from herself. She was pawning her dreams for social status. Now, here's the thing. Each one of us have dreams. But somewhere along the line, this is a very debatable topic, but somewhere along the line, in the name of livelihood, we pawn that. And these dreams are a clue or a trailer to a higher calling in life, to a higher purpose in life. And this invariably reveals itself to us as a teenager or during the pre-teen years. If you look back into any of our lives, talk to anybody, ask them what was their dream as a 13-year-old until they were 16, 17-year-olds. That would give them a clue as to what their higher purpose in life or higher calling in life is. But that is also an age where we are so influenced, so molded, so conditioned to veer away from it. And that is where the misery starts. So Anamika was made to realize this, and her dream was to be a writer, to write. But she pawned that to climb the corporate ladder. So she had everything, but because she was not aligned with her purpose, a higher calling, she was miserable or unhappy. That is why you see people who are successful, ultra successful, having everything in life and still facing depression and anxiety attacks. Because our higher purpose, our calling in life is nothing but our soul contract for what we've come into this life for. It is to express our unique gifts in only the way that we can to serve the world in our own way. Now, by now you would have guessed who Anamika is. So no prizes for guessing who Anamika is, but she has come a long way, and she had this courage. After this happened, this book was published in 2012. So when this book was published, I called it a fictional memoir, because the last paragraph says Anamika resigned and is becoming a full-time writer speaker. Now, why Anamika, you may ask, if it's a memoir? Because Anamika is an Indian name, which means nameless. So anybody and everybody can replace the name Anamika and you would resonate with the story, at least a few chapters of the story, including the mindset. By the way, I forgot to talk about that. LMC also dissects and analyzes her mindset. She blamed anybody and everybody for her misery, including her parents, including her mother. So after this book was published in 2012, now, why do I call it a memoir now? Because at last in 2016, I got the guts, or I could stand erect with my spine and say enough of corporate job, and I became a full-time writer or author or speaker. Now, talking about purpose, this book is all about having the importance of having a purpose in life, identifying, discovering it, and living it. Now, purpose reveals itself to us in our dreams. When I say dreams, the dreams we have, the aims we have, the ambitions that we have as a preteen or a teenager. It evolves. Not everybody gets a higher calling, in the palm of their hands. For most of us, it evolves through phases. And this also has evolved. So how could Anamika, or how could me, or anybody for that purpose in her shoes, have devoted herself to nurturing that purpose when it was revealed to her as a 16-year-old that she wanted to be an author? She could have easily continued writing poems with her day job. She could have easily taken up creative writing jobs or worked on her craft. She could have prepared her manuscripts. To write books, you don't need a dedicated time kept aside for that. You can always hustle and do that. But she never did that. For 10 whole years, she kept this aside in the name of livelihood. So when a purpose is revealed to you, always nurture it along with your livelihood, whatever you're doing for your livelihood. That is the only way you can retain your sanity. And it will evolve through the phases that we go. Now, what I mean by evolving is because all I knew is I wanted to be a writer. But what sort of a writer, what sort of books that is coming up, all had to come through the churning that I went through in my professional career and my journey. So how I transformed as a person from a bitter to a better person, that life journey is what is captured in the following 2 books. And that is what I teach when I write books for others as well, or help others write their books as well. So this is my higher calling and my higher purpose of how the original purpose that was revealed to me as a 16-year-old got polished and became a calling, or became a higher purpose. So never ignore your dream. Take it along with whatever else that you're doing. This is what I keep telling teenagers now. This is what I keep telling youngsters. I tell my daughter also. Whatever it is, yes, you need to make a livelihood. You need to earn. We can't live on love and fresh air. But take along what it is. So it will evolve, it will polish. And after some time, you will have the circumstance to only follow that. Because you've come here to serve people with your unique gift. So that is all about this and my journey thus far. Thank you so much. If you have anything, you can call me. Thank you.
To a certain extent, following the passion of keeping your love aside or just asking, but not everybody will get that privilege to actually work on something that
Exactly.
you actually love, and it keeps killing you from inside. And that happens with almost like 90% of the people in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, what would you suggest and recommend? Let's say, for example, let's say I want to follow the passion of filmmaking.
Yes. Yeah.
But I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have things to run, I have plans to take care of, I have family to run. I just can't do it. Right?
Yes.
And let's say, for example, and financially as well, I'll not be that.
True.
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 But still, I want to perceive that.
Yeah.
And not everybody will. So how
True.
will you address that?
Number one is when you have something like this, weekends, public holidays, after work, you have to put in that extra effort because it's only your life, right? Afterwards, you have to do that. So you put that in, take your annual leaves and create documentaries. I have a friend, that's why I'm telling you, I have a friend who has done his engineering and he wants to become a cinematographer. He started doing his Marathi films now. Young guy, yeah. So what he does is, every 3 months he's on leave. He goes, he does this, he's built up his own portfolio now. So he's given himself 10 years time. Because now what he's earning is going into his buying his gadgets, he says. But this is what? And he's kept his personal life aside. His younger brother has got married, he's not got married. So that's one catch. Yeah. Yeah, you need to have your priorities right? Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Daily liabilities, responsibilities, EMIs and things. Yeah. Yeah. So you have that. Exactly. So, but the problem is to keep paying that with your sanity intact, you need to do what you love doing also, little bit of it. You know? No, I'm talking about not, you keep your day job, but do little of it. Like, at least over the weekend, indulge in your passion. Nurture that. So at least okay, I'm doing something at least. If not now, at least 10 years from now, something is going to happen with that. It's not that, I'm just, listening to my boss and filing away files. So that's. Mm.
What kind of practical advice that you like to?
See, the irony today is anybody can become an author even without writing. You right? Even without writing. Yeah, I don't like ghostwriting. I call myself angel writer, okay? Right, because ghost writers, of course, they are invisible. Yeah, angel writers, invisible, right? But ghosts don't help people. Angels help. So you're helping somebody, then you call. So anyway, so what is the advice to writing? If you want to write your own book, read. Read, read, read. Now, if you can't read, at least listen. Listen to audiobooks, listen to YouTube, listen to documentaries, whatever, increase your vocabulary. And then be disciplined, be determined, and be dedicated. Three Ds. Disciplined is you have to put yourself aside and say, every day from 5 to 6, I am writing, sit and write. When you're at the table, it may not come, but write gibberish, it's fine. It'll keep coming, because that's how you take out the writer's block. That's it. Anything else? May I? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nisha. Thank you so much, Nisha, for this amazing session, for sharing the amazing journey of writing the book Anamika. It was so inspirational. Thank you so much. Can I please request Faizan to give away the token of appreciation from LB to Miss Nisha? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Faizan and Nisha, once again. Can I have Mr. Parveen from BPN to please present the gift to Miss Nisha? Please come. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. As they say, your limitation is your imagination. I would like to take a moment here to thank all our audience who have graced this occasion with their valuable virtual presence. We have people joining us from around the globe. Trust me, it's an honor and privilege to see all of you. Moving forward, before we have our next author, I would like to request somebody from the audience who would like to come and share the experience about today's session or about their book or the latest book, what they have read, anything. Can we have somebody from the audience?
Thank
Faizan,
you.
over to you.
How do I share? Like, how much time do I have?
As much as you want. The stage is yours.
All right, I'll sit because I've been standing for long. I'll sit. All right, thank you so much, Ankita, for inviting me. All right, and thank you everyone. And it was an amazing session, basically. I wanted to, when you asked me, if someone can come from the audience, I wanted to share an experience of a book that I had read. And it apparently changed my life to a really great level. Okay. So I come from an engineering background, and I started my journey as a web developer. Like I used to code in PHP and JavaScript and all those things. But slowly I've started to realize that this was not something that I wanted to do. Then I jumped into something else. I started doing marketing. Then I started doing sales. Then I kept on moving, doing this, that, and the only thing that kept me holding was I was always working for digital agencies. Like even as a developer, I was working with a digital agency. When I moved my thing to my career there as well, I was working in a digital agency. There I was working as an SEO executive. Then I worked as a digital marketer. But nothing was so prominent to me that yeah, this is something that I can follow, or this is something I want to do. Okay, so this journey started really long back, and it's been 13 years in the industry. But everything started to change and started to fall in place when I read this book called Ikigai. Okay, now this book is basically finding your true love of life and finding your passion. So people usually get confused. I always thought that I'm a little creative person. I should be either in film industry, or I should be doing something like this, talking to people, which I really like to do. Or sometimes I wanted to become an author at a point of in time, and actually started writing in 2013 and never finished. So that discipline is actually very much needed to finish a book. I have 130 pages there sitting in my Google Drive and still not finished. So I hope one day I'll get that discipline to sit and start working and writing and finish my book. So the reason I like this book is is it basically not only asks you to focus on your passion, like blindly focusing on your passion, but it actually tells you that what you love and then what you're good at. So there are certain things that you love and there are certain things that you are really good at. So when they combine, it becomes passion. So there are certain things that you would be good at, and there are certain things that you actually love. So I am really good at writing, but I don't love writing, honestly speaking. And there are certain things like you love but you are not actually good at. So like for example, I asked about filmmaking or script writing, all these things. I really love to make films, but I have tried doing ad films as well. It didn't work out, because I was not good at. Then I started collaborating with people who are really good at, creative writing, who are good at creating concepts and coming up with the ideas. And that is one of the reasons I got in touch with LB. So when you connect your love, that something that you love and something you're good at, that actually becomes your passion. And then other thing that the book talks about is basically that you love something, you're good at that, and then the world needs it. So when the world needs it, that's all about the demand. So it's not just about doing something that nobody needs or nobody wants it, and then you can make it as a career. So when you actually when you connect all the dots, there is your ikigai, there is your calling, and that's what I think your book as well is all about. So this is what I thought if I'll come here, I'll talk about it, I'll share my experience. And that basically that calling, eventually it's not just about what you love, but you actually love and what you're good at, and at the same time you try to make it as a career. So I'm fortunate enough, to a certain extent, I could say that I'm in the career right now that is about, but I would be very honest with you, I want to make this as a career. All right, so soon I would like to write and be able to come up, and I thought I would be able to take some time and share my experiences. I would like the host to take over from here. All right, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Faizan. Thank you to all our lovely audience. We'll have another 5 minutes We'll take a break for 5 minutes, and then we will be back with 2 more authors for the session. Thank you so much. I'm calling. Let me know when we are rolling. Please, guys, stop it. It was not me, it was you guys live. Yeah, but I'll start now. Hello and welcome back once again to Books. Today we have one very special person from the audience who would like to share how books have changed his life. Can we please have Fareed? Yes, Fareed. Over to you, Fareed.
Hi, how are you,
I'm
Ankita?
good. How are you doing?
I'm happy as ever.
Yeah.
Okay, as ever I can be. Okay, so this was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't know that I was going to be talking. Roshan always does this to me. But it's about books. Now, I never used to like reading books, but I used to fall asleep. The thing is that a friend of mine told me, just read this book, and I said, okay, give it a shot, no harm in trying. So it's a book called Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. I read it quite some time back, and I really thought at one time that it would be rather serious, and very deep and, with emotions and stuff like that. But it really turned out to be a very fun book. Fun book in the sense that it's very easy to understand. It's basically his simple conversation with the universe, where he just describes, like many people say, fear God. Okay, I mean, today that's an entity, it's a powerful force. But instead of fearing, if you can just change that to loving God, that makes it so much easier. So how he talks about his different experiences as to when things went wrong with him, or when things were good, when he was stressed, when he didn't know what to do. From fear, it changed to love, and things just started becoming easy, because at the end of the day, no matter what you do or however hard you work or don't work, what is going to happen is going to happen. So instead of stressing about it and, just wasting time in life, or, just not coming to understand what you can do, just simply accept it. If you can do something about it, do. If you can't do something about it, just accept it, take and walk further. So that book made a lot of difference in my life, where I started picking up books and understanding them and reading it chapter by chapter and making it a part and parcel of my life, where I can probably put that into practice with somebody. So that's how books actually came into my life. Otherwise, I'm more of a visual person. I love to watch movies which are serious or funny or whatever, but books, this is the first book that I ever read, and I have no regrets about it. In fact, it has 3 parts, which I yet have to continue and continue with finishing both the other 3 parts. Yeah, so Ankita, that's my experience where books are concerned. So I would just tell people, read books, and one thing which you can understand from that, if you don't know the meaning of a word, take it down and use it in a sentence next day. That's how you're going to impact and you're going to increase your vocabulary. And use it in a sentence and you won't forget it. So that's one of the best after effects of reading any book. Okay, thank you and take care. Anything else?
Thank you so much, Fareed.
Yes, but you should say that. I go with that.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is always amazing to listen to Fareed. Next, we would like to call the next author for this session, Dr. Amay Ghanekar. Dr. Amay is a TEDx speaker. He is a keynote speaker. He is a published author, a strength coach, learning strategist, belief system enhancer, award-winning leadership facilitator, a globetrotter. He has 17 years of experience in the corporate world. Today, he will be sharing his experience of writing his book, 23 and a Half Bets. Can we please have Dr. Amay? You want me to get the book?
Yeah. Can we get it placed here somewhere?
Sure.
Hi, good evening. My name is Dr. Amaya. I usually talk to people and make their life better. I'm going to make an attempt today as well to do the same. Uh, the book journey started in 2010, which was 2010, 10, 10. The thought was very simple in mind to start with. One of my students called me and he said, he's going to die in next 3 months. That time mobiles did not have call register. We had old mobiles in place. I don't know who was talking to me. I spoke to him for a while and I could not ask him any questions. I was stunned. He cut the phone call and he said, before just keeping the call, he had TB, which was terminal by then. After the call, I tried calling him back. I wasn't able to reach him. And one question I asked myself, if I have 3 months left in my life, what would probably I do? And my inner core answer was, I would travel. I wouldn't plan nothing. I would trust everybody around me the way I did being a kid. And I would just meet people randomly. In next 15 days, I had 4 visas with me. I left my job, which was a well-paying job by then, and started traveling. And I traveled to Thailand, Malaysia, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Singapore. I stayed with 23 amazing people whom I did not know by then. I had no plan. And I spent 83 days just vagabonding in 8 countries for fun. Life changed. One major concept was, if we start trusting the unknown, unknown starts trusting us. I repeat again, if we don't trust the unknown, unknown does not trust us. If I ask question to all the audience here and otherwise online, how many known people have hurt you? And the count will be probably hundreds. How many unknown people have hurt you? And count will be probably 0 or 1. My question is, whom should you be trusting? Unknown or known? Unknown is enticing. Unknown is amazing. It is superbly inviting. It is only a problem because we question the unknown. We don't get to know unknown situation, unknown person, and unknown angels around. Started with Thailand because that was the closest country to India. Went there on a visit visa, stayed there for some time, and decided to stay with people whom I did not know at all. There's a website called as Couch Surfing. Couch Surfing is a website where you add people whom you don't know. You go and stay in people's house. You don't pay them nothing. You just share experiences. They trust you and you trust them. The journey was not about taking. Journey was all about giving. It wasn't the motive of being an achiever. It was motive of being giver. It is very important which lens do we use in our life to look at the life. The whole texture, taste, the amazing experience called as life changes if probably we start trusting the unknown. When we're not even born, we trust our mothers. When we are young, we trust everybody. It's just when we go old, we get patterns of not trusting people. We want to meet a crook, that's why we meet a crook. If you want to meet nice people, chances are highest you will meet nice people. Bungee jumping is a very, very fearful sport. People call it as adventure sport. You accept the unknown fear in advance. When you accept the unknown fear in advance, it becomes adventure. Every day, every moment, and every year is not different. If we accept that tomorrow will be the superbly amazing day, chances are very high is going to be. If you think quite a lot, I was a professor for almost 15 years. I was teaching in different countries, decision-making models, the conversation therapies, decisions in management, management by objective. It all logically made sense to me, but I was using my brain. The stronger muscle we have is actually our heart. When I heard my heart, life started happening to me. When I heard my mind, others were having life on my behalf. The journey started with Thailand. I went there, stayed with some people. Let me name a few people. I lived with a Buddhist monk, which was an ex-Buddhist monk. I lived with a transgender. I lived with a lady who was blind. I lived with a violinist. I lived with a traffic guy who was used to repair the traffic lights. I lived with somebody who was completely blind and had a blind dog too. I lived with a minimalist. He had even half mirror in his house. I lived with family of 14. I lived with a vegetable seller. I lived with scuba diver. I've done a PhD, but life happened to me in this journey. Life happens to all of us. It is our choice whether we make it happen to us every day. I repeat, unknown is amazing. I'll give you an example. Middle of Cambodia, you can easily find a snake or a rice to eat, which is full of beef. Being a vegetarian, there was no vegetarian food at all. I had to just give a message out to the unknown. I wanted corn on the cob with a lot of salt, a lot of butter, and no pepper. Message was only given out to the unknown and trusted blindly something would work. You'll be surprised to know in the middle of a jungle, I was in an orphanage. It was not easy to find any food there. Somebody went to the main city and got me corn on the cob, lot of salt, lot of butter, and no pepper. Life happens to you. It just has to happen twice. Important thing which I mention and say and I live, everything happens twice in life. I repeat, everything happens twice in life, once in mind and once in reality. If we do not make it happen in mind, it will never happen to in reality ever. I went to a place in Laos. One gentleman said it was my 14th couch I was going to live on. I waited there for 1 hour. Nobody was home. I waited there for 2 hours. Nobody was home. I had a choice to believe somebody ditched me. And a choice to believe I need to wait. I really chose the second one. And after 6 hours, a neighbor came to me and said, David had to go because he had an emergency. And she handed over a 3-floored house key to me. I lived in the house for almost 21 days. He was trusting me more than I was trusting him, because universe helps you when you start believing that every moment, every person, every situation, every day, and every week is amazingly amazing, fantastically fantastic. It is our choice whether we believe or no. Let me share another experience with you. One experience which probably changed my life. I was by then 27, little thinner, little better. Went there 4 o'clock in the morning in Cambodia. Wanted to click the first photograph of sun ray falling on a temple. Wanted to put that on Facebook. That was the only objective by then. Went there at 4 o'clock and I realized sunrise was 5 o'clock. Had to wait for an hour. 1 hour wait. Pitch dark. It's 4 in the morning. There was a lady standing far away. She was heavily pregnant. I could see the structure, but I could not see her actually. She was amazing. She was talking to me in her language. I had a translator with me. We were communicating. Cambodia is one of the countries you can actually withdraw US dollars from ATM. She was begging in dollars. She was saying, give me $5 to have a conversation. I spoke to her for an hour, and then before leaving, I asked her a very Indian question. You're heavily pregnant. You have 3 kids around you right now. You're begging. It's dark. There are foreigners around here. Where is your husband? I want to give a pause here for all the audience to think. A lady just who lives next door to you, just like her. I was talking to her. And when I asked her, where is her husband? What is the worst answer one person can give? What answer she gave changed my life. Those 13 words changed completely me and the entire journey of mine. By then I had problems that I had bathtub cracks. I did not have luxurious life. After that, my life changed to more of a giving. She said, I don't know. When I asked her, where is your husband? She said, I don't know. When I asked her, what does that mean? She said, because I am blind. It changed my life. I had shiver and I couldn't talk. That clearly meant she was sleeping somewhere. Somebody came and did something to her. Her stomach grew. She had kids. And she did not know whose kids they were. Financially, socially, sexually, personally, by all means, she was exploited. And I learned, I have beautiful eyes. I learned, I have nails. I learned, I have eyebrows. I have a functioning body. My actually joints function. 206 bones are functioning every day so well. I don't have any complaints in life today. My mother tried teaching me, have gratitude. For 27 years, it did not work. An unknown lady, she just came and taught me a lesson for life. Now I had a choice. I could have questioned. She wanted more money, that's why she did it. There was a choice. But there was a choice to also believe she's unknown to me. Why would she lie to me? What was I getting out of that was life happened to me. I mean it when I say it, I'm shivering today. I could see that lady in front of me. I just realized how blessed we are. 18% people in the world have enough money to have dinner tonight. I had by then. I have it till now. You have it too. How should we be walking? We should be walking 1 foot above the ground. We should be that proud of our life. We have 2 options in life. In book, I mention it again and again. Our 2 options are, first option is to be happy, and second option is to be happy. And the third option is to be happy, and fourth is to be happy. We have absolute no reasons to complain. And life becomes beautiful. Life becomes beautiful if we decide to trust the unknown. Unknown is beautiful. Nobody wants to ever hurt you. Human beings are supposed to be joyful. We are supposed to be living a life just the way normal human beings live, enjoying it. We're living a life to enjoy tomorrow, and we want someone else to trust us. We need to turn back and realize, I need to trust somebody whom I don't know today, and life will happen to me tomorrow morning. It's our choice. One more story which is very close to my heart, which is in the book, is a transgender. I lived with him. I did not, till the end, I could not shake hand with her. She was letting me live in her house. I did not have guts to talk to her. The process I came from, they were supposed to be not part of society. Although I was open-minded in my mind, I wasn't. When I stayed in a house, she told me, don't worry, the latch is confirmed. I've got 2 latches inside the house. You are safe. I did not know what to say. She took care of me, just like her baby. Till the end, I could not shake hand with her. It was my barrier. After a few years, I traveled back just to meet her and say thank you. Sometimes it takes 2 to change the world. I am doing it today, and I hope you start tomorrow morning. Trust that one person who comes to you. What can happen? The worst is you might get the best friend, which you don't have it right now. Unknown is amazing. Unknown situations are fantastic. Another example journey. I have 1,000 stories in this book. Another major example in this book is I went to somebody's house and I realized the person was blind. I knew the faith is blind, but I did not know that faith could be completely blind. He was letting me in his house to stay in his huge house in Singapore. He could not see me. The way he explained me orange color, I can't explain. He had never seen orange color. He was so amazing. Just listening to him made me rethink how blessed I was. I lived in an orphanage. Very, very funny incidents. I lived there. And next to that, there was a Buddhist monastery. So I lived later with a Buddhist monk as well. I asked this Buddhist monk, what are the 3 changes in normal life? And now he's an ex-Buddhist monk. He's a corporate professional now. What's the difference in these 2? There were 3 funny things he said. First, he did not know how to use the comb because being a Buddhist monk, they don't have hair. Second thing, he was not used to having dinner. They collect food early morning and they divide in 2 parts. They have it for breakfast and for lunch. He could not adjust to dinner for years because his metabolism was not used to dinner. And third thing he said was very, very different. He said that monks were used to only wear what they wore, what you saw. It was difficult for him to wear other clothes otherwise. It was quite funny. Meeting him was very unique. I spent a lot of time with him. And in this journey, I have seen, after catching one small fish, which was 2 inch, it could be so pleasurable if your company is amazing. If somebody with you is amazing, that little small fish that you catch after a few hours is also a big achievement to have. Yeah? Probably a few more things to share about the book are, one important person in this journey was Jose, whom I lived with. He was every day hosting 15, 20, 25 people in his house. He's still hosting them. Nobody knows him. They come to his house, they live in his house, and they leave. I want to ask you a question. A maid who works in a house for years, we still go and check behind her whether she's stealing from a bedroom something. Real brother, when comes to home, we lock our cupboards. I don't know if you're locking cupboards, our hearts, or our minds, but I think one thing which you're missing today is we are certainly not trusting the unknown, which is amazingly amazing. I want to thank LB for organizing this for me. I genuinely want to say that if you can listen to me for these many minutes, do one thing. Next person you meet, whom you don't know, just go and trust. What will happen the best to you is life will come to you. Signing off, my name is Dr. Amay Ghanekar, and trust me, everything happens twice. Once in your mind and once in your reality. Thank you.
Thank you. It was great. Momento, I'll begin. Can I have? Can I have? Thank you so much, Dr. Amay. It was amazing. I literally have goosebumps right now listening to this amazing experience. It was great. As a brand experience manager at LB, I would like to take this opportunity to present a gift, a token of appreciation to Dr. Amay. Dr. Amay, can you please have it? Thank you so much, Amay. Sure. Thank you, Amay. Laurel, can I have you for the... Okay. Pragati? Pragati. Amay, can we have you? Dr. Amay. We have Pragati from BPN Global to please present a gift to Dr. Amay. Thank you so much, Pragati. Thank you so much, Dr. Amay. As we move forward, can we have, last but not the least, I would like to welcome our next author of this session, Heath Bailey. Please welcome Mr. Heath. He is a passionate social justice educator who has 24 years of experience in the education field. He is the founding principal of Vernus International School. We will get to know more about his journey as a co-author of his book, Going Global. Mr. Heath, can we please have you here? Can I have a huge round of applause for Mr. Heath?
Thank you very much.
Over to you.
Thank you, everyone. Once again, my name is Heath Bailey. I'm from the USA, state of Pennsylvania, and I co-authored with 9 very distinguished and intelligent gentlemen the book Going Global, the life-changing experiences of 10 courageous Black men. And before I touch on Going Global, I want to thank BUKX, LB, Academy for this wonderful setup. This is beautiful, and I'm actually humbled and flattered to be able to speak on Going Global and tell you a little about myself and even how I became an author, first-time author. First and foremost, I want to thank my first teacher. And if you know anything about education, if you know anything about literacy, your first teacher is the most important, because your first teacher is the fuel that they put in you, or he or she puts in you to actually engage you and get you going. And that first teacher is my mother. I can remember as a young child reading a lot and being not forced to read, but learning to love reading. And as I got older, I lost the love. What I found out was after so many years, life happened for a teenager in the USA, a teenager of my demographic. And I'm gonna speak to Going Global and the gentleman, the subtitle of the book, The Life-Changing Experiences of 10 Courageous Black Men, but give you a little more about why we named it that. Going Global is a counter narrative. It's a counter narrative of our demographic. It's a counter narrative of the propaganda, the stereotypes of our demographic in the USA. And many times we've heard, I'm not sure in this side of the world or the regions that you're from, we've heard that a very negative stereotype or a negative joke or saying about our demographic. And that is, if you want to hide something from a Black man, put it in a book. And it didn't sit well with a lot of us, even though there was jokes made growing up. I probably heard that 100 times or read it even more. And the reason why I say Going Global is a counter narrative is because I'm not sure if there's anywhere in the world that 10 men, and actually 9 men, and when the book was written in 2018, there was one teenager, and he's now a man headed off to college. But now 10 men collaborated on a memoir to tell their story. So Going Global is 10 Black American men from the United States who lived in either Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and I believe Elaine. We basically created a small community of writers, lovers of learning, and we got together and we wrote our story. When I wrote mine, I figured, well, I've been in the UAE a number of years. I can write on my experiences since the day that I left the United States. But I chose to do something a little different because I knew this book was a legacy item. It was a legacy piece. And I knew that it would be read around the world by a lot of people. So I chose to talk a little bit about my inner feelings and give sort of a perspective for the reader, give them my perspective of exactly why I'm writing so passionate. And I, of course, had my mother in the book. I wrote about a student who inspired me to come to the UAE. And I'll tell this quick story. The only reason why I'm here, the only reason why I married my wife, because we found each other here in Dubai, and I have a child, a 3-year-old child now, who's going to be starting at my school in 2 weeks. The only reason why I'm here is because of one of my students. And she was a valedictorian at a high school that I was the principal. One day she said, hey, can you come and look at my presentation? Can you be a judge? Can you come and critique my presentation? Very busy day. I said, I'll try to get to your class, but what do I have to do? And she goes, well, it's not in the classroom. It's a external assignment. I said, well, why don't you have the presentation in my office? That means I can handle answering the phones and emails, and I can actually engage with you. She goes, fine. So she has her presentation in my office, and the presentation happened to be the environmental awareness and sustainability in Abu Dhabi. So the first visual she showed was the UAE. Of course, she showed Dubai. She gave a little bit of the demographics and some information about Dubai. And then, of course, she talked about environmental awareness and climate change and the efforts that the UAE is having, especially Abu Dhabi. So I didn't know, I knew Dubai, but I didn't know about Abu Dhabi, and I didn't really even know the country United Arab Emirates. I just heard of the two cities very vaguely. And so I started asking questions, the principal. I'm asking questions like one of the students or one of the other judges. And she looked at me and she was worried because she was like, why is this guy asking questions? Is he, trying to press me a little bit and put pressure on me? And I said, no, actually, I need to know where that place is. Okay. So that kind of spawned and sparked my interest in this region of the world. And when I came here, I wrote for the first 2 years, and I became a better writer. I became a better reader. So the fall off of reading as a youngster, struggling through school, going to the university, getting a few extra degrees, becoming a principal, I still wasn't the best reader or writer. So that ties back into literacy being so important, and me remembering that my mother started me off. And of course, so many things, risk factors, America, being from a minority in America, all the challenges of being from a low socioeconomic background got in the way. And the UAE and these guys who asked me to be a part of this book brought me back. And it had me to start writing. And I can't say enough, when you read Going Global, not just my chapter, but you'll see that all 10 guys, we all have different stories. We all have different paths in life. We all have different perspectives. And I was enamored by the other guys because I know my story, and it was great to put it on paper and get it published. But these other gentlemen, their stories and how they got to the UAE, okay, why they went global and why they went abroad. And it just really amazes me to this day. And so many people around the world. This book, last we counted, we did a few analytics in Amazon. It's been to at least 60 countries. Okay, it sold, I think, over 3,000 copies. Okay, well, in the UAE, it sold pretty well as from the American expats bought this book as well. A lot of educators as well. So I'm just enamored by my value that I've added, my piece, and I'm just happy to be here. So thank you very much for having me, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heath. Heath. Thank you. Thank you so much, Heath. It was amazing listening to your experience. And I would like to invite Susan, the brand experience manager at LB, to please present the token of appreciation to Mr. Heath. BPN. Thank you so much, Heath. One more gift for you.
Oh, yes.
So we have Pragati from BPN, our brand partner, to present a small gift to Mr. Heath. Thank you so much, Heath. It was a great pleasure to have you this evening. Thank you so much. Can I please have Susan? Thank you so much. Can I please have Susan? To say a few words about this evening. Susan.
Thank you so much, Ankita. Thank you, all of you, for coming. You have been an amazing audience, both live, both online. We really appreciate your presence. And I would like to end this session with this quote. Take small steps each day. You might not get there today, but you will be closer than yesterday. Let that quote ring in your mind and remind you every day that you don't have to rush things. Take one step each day. No rush, no pressure. Everything is always going to be okay. And we at LB, it's our first step to engage the storytellers to share their knowledge, their stories, and their experiences to the world, which we have all enjoyed. Both the online audience and the live audience has been very engaging, and we've learned a lot that it will be able to impact our lives in very amazing ways. So through the power of words, I would once again thank our guest of honor, Miss Catherine, who was with us earlier this morning, and all our distinguished authors, our supporting brand partners, our production team, our hosts, beautiful Miss Ankita. She's honored this event very well. We are grateful for her, and all our audiences, both present once again and those who joined us online, for making this evening a great experience. Thank you all and have a lovely night. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much.